Gazamfer. Trainier. Fritz. Mueller. Gould. Balich. Frizzlum. Winfrey. Brooks. Parker. Ventura. Coleman. Markham. Berkowitz. Cowan. Pretzel. Weigel. Freeman is a yes. Curlitis and President Van Dyne.
Yes.
19 again.
Okay. $19. 19, the motion carries. The next one, the executive session minutes of September 8th, 2022. We want to push that back for another 6 months for our semi-annual review. Okay, so we don't need a motion on that. So moving on to Treasurer's Report. Mr. Markham, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Before I place the Treasurer's Report on file, I have a few brief comments. For revenues, the September 30th, 2022 operating statements indicate the district's corporate fund has collected $13.68 million in total revenues, which includes approximately $12.1 million in property taxes, $986,576 in replacement taxes, and nearly $386,000 in licenses and permit fees, while the remaining balance is attributable to other miscellaneous income. For expenditures, the district has incurred approximately $10.05 million of expenditures for the period ended September 30th, 2022. Of the total expenditures, approximately $6.7 million are personnel costs. The district has experienced a net operating income of just over $3.62 million year-to-date, including all budgeted transfers. Unless there are any questions, I move to place the Treasurer's Report on file.
Have a motion? Second, any discussion? Have a previous? And a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report this month.
Thank you, Tyler. Are there any petitions from the public? Seeing none. Moving on to Finance Committee, Chairwoman Coleman, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to make a motion to pass the schedule of bills in the amount of $1,361,018.18.
Second.
Discussion? Questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next, I'd like to make a motion for the review of the proposed 2022 levies and consider authorizing staff to prepare the final levy ordinances.
Any discussion? Mr. Frizzlone, good morning.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see some other options other than 3.5.
It got long.
We did prepare those, and I believe those were forwarded to you.
They were? Where? In an email?
I don't,
They were forwarded directly to you, Mr. President.
yeah.
They weren't forwarded to the leader of the board, but I can quickly go through what was forwarded to you.
Okay.
The budget levies as presented on a corporate rate, there was some questions. It was presented at 3.5%, which was lower from the 5% as originally presented. The current operating levy for this fiscal year is $10,790,000 at 3.5%. The increase in the corporate levy would be $111,880. The increase at 3% corporate levy would be $32,446. At 2.5%, which is half of what was originally presented, the operating levy would decrease $326,122. Okay. So again, I'll run through them. At 3.5%, it was a net increase of $111,880. At 3%, it was a net increase of $32,446. At 2.5%, it was a decrease of $46,988. And at 2%, a decrease of $126,422. What we would propose to do is there is a transfer from that corporate levy into the infrastructure maintenance and replacement program, but we have also included a fund reserve transfer into that same program. So what we would do is we would reduce the transfer from the corporate levy accordingly to make up the difference in those amounts. So that amount would decrease roughly $80,000 at 3%, from $300,000 to $220,000.
What are you talking about, Rob, from a proposed budget?
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yes.
I mean, those numbers don't make, if I may, Joe, I'll raise my hand, now I'll talk, okay? If you're, yeah, I did turn my microphone on. So Ralph, for some reason, those numbers are just not ringing true to me. Are you talking about versus a proposed budget? I mean, if you have a current, let's just look at last year's current levy, and we start looking at, limiting rates and so forth and so on. Not that we're going to the limiting rate, but, so what was the corporate levy last year? And if the net increase is 3%, it's, and this is rough, that's $300,000. I don't know where you're getting your number. I'm comparing levy to levy, nothing on a budget, nothing on an operational. What is the increase from one levy year to another? I want to see the actual additional tax dollars that are collected, and it's not $32,000 at 3%. Just for 3.5%. And what was it last year? Really? So it is 111,000. So 111,000. A 0.5% drops it that much? Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
0.5%. When we originally talked, you said each point was about $100,000. $150,000. So from 3.5 to 2.5, we're dropping 158,000.
This still don't make sense to me. 3% of 10 million is $300,000.
You need to digest that for a minute, Mike?
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Ralph, I have a question about, okay, the number, this is an estimation. So now, I know in Mimi and my district, and I know New Lenox and these other districts, there's quite a bit of new development, just new. So that's a new tax base. Those are new tax dollars coming in. Is that reflected in this, or how do you determine that? Because they're building everywhere.
Yeah. That is, we do include new construction in that, in our factors, yeah, as well as any changes in the EAV.
Okay, so how do you determine it? I'm just.
It's based on an estimate that that is provided by the county.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so thank you, Ralph, for those numbers. I think this goes back to previous conversations that if you guys are thinking of not taking the full CPI, what we really need to know is what you plan to cut. So if you're looking at dropping even a percentage point, that's $150,000. So are there proposals for that, or are you just asking for the numbers in general?
All right, so, again, I'm still not getting the number. You're including that 150,000 a point, you're including new construction.
Mhm.
Right, well, you don't include, we're just talking strictly about the percent increase based on the CPI, and you're saying you originally was 5, you're at 3.5. That's 100,000 a point.
150 is what I said, 150,000 per point.
But if we're at 10 million right now,
Right, 10,790,000.
so 1 point is $100,000 more.
150. We're at 10.7 million.
If you look,
I don't understand how a point's 150, and then you come up with 111,000.
Don?
this might help. If you look on your iPad where it says proposed levies, so go to the bottom. Now, this is all the levies combined. In 2021, it was 15,886,849. The proposal is 16,442,888. That's corporate and everything. So the increase, it says increase taken 556,038, percentage 3.5%. That's everything. So it's 556,000 equals 3.5%.
But the bond issues are.
It's everything, total.
Yeah, yeah, that includes the debt service, audit, FICA, all the levies.
All right, still, 10,700,000. 1% of that is $107,000, not 150. The new construction is kind of separate. We're not saying not to take new construction. You're saying 3% is increase from CPI, which 5 is our max. So that'd be 100. What? No,
Well,
five without the black box.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's 7.2 without a black box.
All right, well, I'm not in favor of 3 for 5 in light of the fact that we're getting this additional 400 some thousand dollars on the replacement tax. I would amend the motion to have, to go at 2.5. You're still getting more than you anticipated from last year on the replacement tax from the original budget. I am making that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to make the tax rate from 3.5% to 2.5%. Is there any discussion? Question?
Ralph, how does this impact future levies with the limiting rate if we drop that?
Well, it actually, how does it affect them is that you don't capture this amount going forward. So you're starting at a lower basis point. So it does have an impact going forward, but it's an impact that we adjust to because it's the reality. So it's from a budgeting standpoint, we address it by eliminating some of the expense in the corporate budget, but we don't have to eliminate any of the expense in any of the other levies. just simply the corporate levy.
So if we have other windfalls in the near future, like the property replacement tax, we wouldn't have to cut, but long-term, if we don't have that money, then we are cutting.
Potentially, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, Mike?
Yeah. So I can kind of ask Rachel as far as how does this affect the future? So if we cut 1 point down to 2.5, even if we go, and I still don't agree with that number, $150,000 this year, next year, if you go up 3%, you would not get $4,500 more. Because you're going 3% on the whole budget. If it was up 150 more now, and you got 3%, it would only be 3% on the 150 that we didn't get, that's $4,500. Yeah. So it's not much long-term.
Any other discussion? Sherry?
Yeah, my question is the the replacement tax comes into the corporate levy, correct?
Corporate levy and our C&D levy.
Okay, so, but the 2.5% applies across, let's say we lowered it to 2.5%, that applies to everything. I mean, the debt service, not just the corporate levy, correct?
Overall, yes.
So does that have-
affects the overall levy. What we're suggesting is that we address the reduction in the corporate levy.
So does that have an effect on the does that negatively impact going forward the non-corporate spending or if you will, if I'm saying it the right way?
I understand what you're saying, and no, it does not.
Well, we originally came in at 5% and willing to negotiate down to 3.5. So my personal vote is gonna be no on this amendment. Any other discussion? Mimi?
I would be inclined to agree. I think that inflation is well over 5%, and that inflation applies to our costs and how we need to keep up with cost of living for our own employees, and also in terms of cost of gasoline and materials and all those other things. And I think we've agreed that we won't take 5%. Because we understand that our residents are facing hardship from inflation right now. And so that it makes sense to come down to 3.5%. But I'm not sure that reducing beyond that makes long-term fiscal sense or is truly fiscally responsible to pay for our ongoing costs and to make sure we're properly funding what everybody loves, the Forest Reserve, going forward. So I'll be a no.
Steve?
Yeah, if you listen to the news this morning, we're over 8% in inflation, and the raises that the people that live around town are, all their wage increases are being eaten up by inflation. So when government says, we're going to raise your taxes, and the people that are actually paying the taxes are getting way less money now, because they're talking about, finally they're saying, well, you got a raise of $2, but it's really costing you $3. Well, that's only on certain sectors of the economy. You get people that are not in government jobs and people that aren't working for real large corporations. They haven't been getting raises at all because the corporations aren't giving them. So then I look at it and say, well, why does government not say we have to cut back on something? I don't know what we have to cut back on, because I would say just across the board, I would just cut 1 or 2% out of every line item. But I don't want to go to that extent, because I don't know what each line item, some are, you need that, some you don't. But if we can't cut and we expect the rest of the county to cut, I think it's totally unfair. Government should represent the people. And when they get their tax bills, that might be the difference between an extra pound of hamburger that week. Or a kid going to a special program at school. You know, we don't know what each individual is suffering with as far as income, but I know disposable income is way, way down. So, you know, 5%'s no way in hell. 3.5 is bad. 2.5 is palatable, but why even 2.5? Why not just keep the levy exactly the same? And we find ways to cut like the rest of the world. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at.
Herb?
Mr. President, I really thought in committee, Ralph and his staff did a very good job explaining to us what the 5% meant and why we went down to 3.5%. And I do concur. I believe that we're in an inflationary time and nobody wants additional costs. But Ralph, I thought you guys did a good job, at least convincing me that day, why 3.5% was more palatable than 5%. Being able to go forward and do the job, do the things that we need to do. So I would still be leaning toward 3.5 because what you explained to us that day in committee last week is that, I mean, any increase, nobody want to pay, but that small of an increase, I felt, was palatable in today's market. So I'll be supporting 3.5.
As, just to clarify, as presented, this is overall in the levy for the Forest Preserve, a 6.36% decrease in the overall levy.
Okay.
In the overall levy, this represents a 6.36% decrease.
I got Mike, and then I'll go to Natalie.
Yeah, I just want to mention the number again. I understand inflation, I get it. The thing is, and Ralph, correct me if I'm wrong, on replacement tax, we're getting how much more? Is it 482 than last year?
It's roughly,
Or was it 6 something?
it's, yeah, roughly 480.
More than
Yeah.
last year. So when I say 2.5, and again, I still think 1% of 10 million is 100,000, 107,000. You know, by going to 2.5, we're at 1, 2, maybe 2.5 less than the 5 initially wanted, but we're getting 482,000 more in the replacement tax. So we're actually getting more money revenue-wise than last year, even by reducing the tax rate to 2.5%, the increase to 2.5%, because we are getting that $482,000 extra. That's why I'm saying for 2.5. It still gives us more than if we were at the 5 without that additional replacement tax, which we just found out about at the, about a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we, and what we explained at committee too was that we took the majority of that replacement tax increase into the construction and development budget to support capital and some maintenance items.
I understand you're trying to support other things. All I'm saying is we pretty much had a budget without that money. And now we've got that additional money. What you use it for
We never presented you a budget without that money in it. We have presented you that same number consistently from the beginning.
that you had an
That
additional
we had the
$400,000.
additional, yes, we did.
Well, my point still is, we have an additional $400,000 in revenue we didn't have last year that we're getting. If you add that together with the 2.5, we're in better shape than had we just done a 5 without replacement tax. That's why I said 2.5.
Natalie?
I would just ask for a roll call.
Thank you.
Like we had a discussion. Is my mic on? Yeah, we have these discussions about finances quite often, and it's this like common language of everybody's X, Y, and Z. And I'm not making light of the fact that we are currently still in a pandemic, but there are numerous people who have come out of this more successful, better off, We're talking about an amount of money divided across the county. We had a long discussion at the meeting, and we have a long meeting today. So I just would like to ask for a roll call.
Okay. Roll call it is. This is on the amendment for 2.5%.
Newquist. Mustis. Mitchell. Tyson. You want me to come back to you? Thank you. Zanford. Drainier. Fritz, sorry, Mueller. Oh, she's here now. Okay, Fritz. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Yes. Mueller? No. Gould? Balich? Frizzlum? Yes. Winfrey? Brooks? No. Parker? Yes. Ventura? Yes. Coleman? No. I'm sorry, Ventura, what was yours? Okay. Markham? No. Berkowitz? Yes. Cowan? No. Weigel? Yes. Freeman is a no. And President Van Dyne?
No.
I have two to come back to, yes. Tyson? No. Balich? Yes. It's 10 and 10.
Okay. Originally, we needed the majority of the board elected, which was 14 votes. We had a member resign a couple days ago. So the count needed to be 13. The count today is 10 to 10, so the motion will fail. Somebody like to make a motion to, back to the original motion?
Motion to approve the original motion.
Second, roll call, please.
Newquist. Yes. Ogalla. I'm just going to go through all of them so I don't get confused. Mustis. No. Mitchell. No. Tyson. Yes. Zanfer. Trainier. Yes. Fritz. No. Mueller. Yes. Gould. No. Balich. No. Frizzlum. No. Winfrey. Brooks. Yes. Parker. No. Ventura. Yes. Coleman. Yes. Markham. Yes. Berkowitz. No. Cowan. Yes. Pretzel. Weigel. No. Freeman is a yes. Kurlitis. And President Van Dyne.
Yes.
11 and 9. We have 11 and 9. 11 yeas, 9 noes.
We have 11 yeas, 9 nays, so the motion will fail.
I'll
second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Newquist. Yes. Ogalla. Mustis. Yes. Mitchell. No. Tyson. Yes. Kazanfer. Trainier. Yes. Fritz. Yes. Mueller. Yes. Gould. Yes. Balich. No. Frizzlum. Yes. Winfrey. Brooks. Yes. Parker. Yes. Ventura. Yes. Coleman. Markham. Berkowitz. Cowan. Pretzel. Weigel. Freeman is a yes. Carlitis. President Van Dyne.
Yes.
Seventeen and 3.
The vote was 17-3, motion carries.
All right.
Chairwoman Coleman.
Next, would like to make a motion to approve the ordinance number 624, requesting the transfer of Old Normantown Road from Wheatland Township and the Wheatland Township Road District. And I so move.
We have a motion and a second, looking for a clean roll call.
Newquist. Yes. Ogawa. Mustis. Mitchell. Yes. Tyson. Yes. Gazanfer. Trainier. Yes. Fritz. Yes. Mueller. Yes. Gould. Yes. Balich. Yes. Frizzalone. Yes. Winfrey. Brooks.
Yes.
Parker. Yes. Ventura. Yes. Coleman.
Yes.
Markham. Yes. Berkowitz. Yes. Cowan.
Yes.
Pretzel. Weigel.
Yes.
Freeman is yes. And President Van Dyne.
Yes.
That is 20.
20 affirmative, motion carries.
All right, next, approval of ordinance number 626, establishing the 2023 annual fee schedule, and I so move.
Discussion? Ms. Trenier?
I'd be in favor of raising the schedule of fees. We didn't do that. We kept everything the same, and since we've just reduced our levy even more, I would think we would want to consider raising fees. But to keep up with the 8.7% rise in inflation. We're not raising our fees. We're lowering our levy from, what we could potentially take. It seems to me that it would make sense to raise our fees. I apologize, I wasn't at committee, but I had some other medical attention items that I had to deal with last week.
Thank you. Jim?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Jackie on this. I don't know if we should go back and just relook at them based on our additional cost. Not just to raise them because there's inflation, but if our cost is rising in relation to these permits, then I do think that should be a consideration. And Ralph, I don't know if we did that type of analysis, a cost analysis, but we haven't. I think it's a good idea to do this every few years.
Yeah, what we look at a couple of things. One is cost. We also look at what's the market doing. But we look at what the market's doing as well. A lot of our fees come from rentals, so we do anticipate additional revenue next year because we brought another facility online up at Hidden Oaks Nature Center. The majority of our fees remain the same as presented to you. The largest reduction was that we used to charge money to launch a kayak or a canoe at County Reservoir. It had to do with some historic ways in which we looked at that facility. We've since eliminated that fee because it's not a large revenue source for us.
Yeah.
But since all of our other lakes are free to launch kayaks and canoes without but we can certainly take a look at it again.
Yeah, like I said, I'd just like to see a cost analysis to make sure we're keeping up with our cost in relation to fees. So if our costs go up 5%, then I think the fees should go up 5%. And all we're doing is covering costs, basically. So that would be my input on this. Thank you.
Jim. Gretchen, then Julie.
Thank you. In the packet, for Finance Committee, it was pretty detailed of the analysis that the staff did of this fee, has not been raised, this fee shouldn't be raised, should be raised. I thought it was very specific. I thought it was very detailed. I thought it all made sense to me. I thought the rationale was all there. I thought it was all clear. So I think I don't have a problem with this fee schedule that you're presenting. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. So first of all, when we're talking about cost and paying a fee, the taxpayers already paid the fee. The taxpayers paying for the forest preserve and the services we have. And on top of that, they'll pay a fee if there is a fee. I don't want to see that increased because I think they're already vested. However, for people who live outside of our county, I think it's fair and just, and it's commonplace in other counties to charge a higher rate for them. And that's something I would suggest. Second, let's keep the focus and remember that youth groups and certain groups like scouting that would use our camping and boating facilities, they're on a limited budget. Those are families and youth groups that don't have a lot of money. So I wouldn't want to increase their cost either. Now, there's some items on this list. Metal detecting, a lot of people I know, they do that because they're trying to find a jackpot, earn a little bit of money, and they probably can afford a higher rate. Filming, let's take a look at that. If someone's going to come in, do a film, and possibly earn money, royalties, or something, they can afford to pay a little bit more. But I want to make sure that we stay focused on our residents and, the costs the burden they have on a day-to-day basis. So keep the focus and, expand and consider higher raises or higher costs in areas where it's not impacting our everyday residents and taxpayers. Thank you.
So we do currently charge out-of-county residents more than we charge in-county residents for things like dog park permits, picnic permits, and those. And I would also say that the majority, 95% of our programs are free because we agree with you that the taxpayers are vested and they've already paid for a service. So many people who attend our events and our programs are doing so at no cost.
Jackie, then Rachel.
Actually, I think Rachel's first.
Thanks, Jackie. Yeah, I was going to say that we already paid double or charged double out of county, and I think that's appropriate for most of these fees. I do not want to see the rest of the fees increase. I was at an event with Ralph where somebody complained about the price of our rentals, and that is the second time this year a different constituent has complained to me about the rental fees of our shelters and picnic shelters. So in representing the constituents who have spoken out to me, I will definitely not be voting to increase the fees. I think that the same argument for decreasing the levy is why we wouldn't increase fees, is that it is coming out of our constituents' pocket. And there are people who are hurting. Now, maybe the boat rental, maybe someone who owns a boat isn't hurting as much as someone who just wants to have a birthday party at a picnic shelter because they cannot afford a birthday party at any fancy location. So I think keeping these fees where they're at now makes sense. I think for the same reasons we didn't want to increase our taxes on people is the same reason we need to keep these at where it is. So if we're not sending this back to committee, I would encourage us to do a vote on it today.
Thank you. Sherry?
Yeah, I'm also comfortable with these fees, and I'm hoping that we vote on this today. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Mimi?
Yeah, in a bizarre way, I sort of agree with Julie, but that's why I don't understand why she would have voted no on a levy rate that would have amounted to less than the cost of a Happy Meal for families. Whereas, so that's that's the point of taxes. We spread the burden to fund what we agree are publicly beneficial organizations and opportunities. And now we're talking about raising fees by, $50 or $75. That actually does cut families out from being able to access these things. But we can't have it both ways here. We have to find funding to have the nice things. So I don't really understand quibbling over, a couple small dollars, and then it doesn't make sense to me to do neither. I'll put it that way, because we have to fund our operations. But I feel very disappointed that we would lean more towards an increase that would absolutely cut out families from being able to access these services, rather than, using the tools we have to make things more open and accessible to families. But, so that is to say, I'm not sure I support fee increases, but Ralph, if you tell us it's absolutely necessary to keep things going, I would vote yes on it.
I see Mike, and then I got Steve.
I'll be brief, when.
Wait, it was me first.
Oh,
You put your hearing aid.
I thought you said me.
Mike and then Steve.
I thought you said the other way.
Yeah, I don't generally want to raise the fees on the Will County residents, but I think out of county residents, they're not paying the taxes. If taxes go up, then everybody in Will County gets a piece of that, but they don't if they're out of Will County. So if they're using Four Rivers and these other locations, maybe we need to raise the out of county fee.
Steve?
Yeah, I agree with Judy, we should raise the out-of-county people, but the in-county people, I love it when people use terms like it's only a McDonald's Happy Meal. Well, the people that live here would rather have the McDonald's Happy Meal for their kid than pay more money to the government. And you can ask anybody, go knock on a door and ask them, do you want to pay more money for taxes or get your kid an extra McDonald's Happy Meal? We had this argument about 4 years ago. Somebody said about getting a Big Mac. Let's just say, let's use analogies that kind of make sense, because nobody wants, I'd rather give my kid a Happy Meal if I had a little kid than give the government my money. And that's bottom line. I think it's ridiculous to even talk. It's like equity. That's another stupid term that everyone seems to use all the time, because I feel discriminated against. I'm Sicilian, and everybody picks on me because of my race.
All right. I think we've had a lengthy discussion on number 3. Something new?
Yes, it'll be kind of. I'm going to specifically want to zero in on Four Rivers and those rentals. And I'm going to use a little bit of comparison. Frankfort Township has a facility that we rent. That's not near what Four Rivers is. And we get twice what Four Rivers is charged. We charge twice what Four Rivers is charged. I mean, those numbers are so extraordinarily low for people to come in, for a facility like that to rent it, and go check the market. Maybe you find something about the same price at American Legion, but or something like that. But you're not going to find a facility of that nature for that kind of money. Just ain't going to happen. So you know what? I mean, if Frankfort Township can get $1,500 a day or a night for a facility that probably is not near the capacity of Four Rivers, I don't understand where that number comes from. And I think if you did a market analysis, you would find that throughout. Park districts are charging probably more for smaller facilities than we're charging. That number really needs to be looked at. And, and if that means you come back later, I mean, if I'm reading this right, rental for that facility for in-county, $350. I mean, am I reading that right? Or Four Rivers? Okay, what am I,
So that's $350 to rent the shelter.
so what's the facility? Let me go further down.
Yeah, if you rented the facility, it's $3,000.
That's not bad. I didn't go, I guess I didn't go out far enough. Yeah, that's okay.
Any new
But-
speakers?
Joe.
Any new speakers?
Respond.
Previous roll, looking for a previous roll. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed?
What are we voting on? Oh,
You want to roll?
No.
Roll call. Yep.
That's correct.
Voting on the fee schedule as presented.
Oh, was the agenda? Okay, yeah, all right. All right, Newquist, this is on the L3,
Yes,
as presented. Newquist,
yes.
Ogalla. Mustis. Yes. Mitchell.
Yes.
Tyson.
Yes.
Trainier.
No.
Fritz.
Yes.
Mueller. Gould. Balich.
No.
Frizzlum.
Yes.
Winfrey. Brooks.
Yeah.
Parker. Ventura. Coleman.
I misunderstood the motion. I changed my vote because it was as they're presented there. I thought it was for an increase. So, no, I changed my vote to a yes.
Thank you. Markham. Berkowitz.
Yes, and Joe, I'd like the opportunity to respond to the reference to myself.
You can
There
do it
was a
offline.
reference to my,
Cowan. Weigel. Freeman is a yes. President Van Dyne.
Yes.
We have 18 and 2. 18 and 2.
Pardon? 18 approved. Motion carries.
Good. Do you have any reports for us? Okay, all right. So our next meeting is Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022, following the operations meeting at the Sugar Creek Administration Center. Thank you, President Van Dyne.
Thank you. Operations Committee, Vice Chairwoman Sherry Newquist.
Okay, number one, award of professional services contract to Terra Engineering of Chicago Hay and Associates of Lolo, WPK Engineering of St. Charles and Christopher Beaver Engineering of Rosemont, Illinois, as forest preserve review engineers and ice upgrades. Second.
All right, there is a previous roll and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Number two, award of contract in the amount of $33,598.60 to Waste Management of Illinois of Lombard, Illinois, for waste removal and recycling services and ice removal.
Discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number four, approval of resolution number 22-18, authorizing intergovernmental agreement number 22-62 and license number 22-16, I'm sorry, that was 22-02 and license number 22-16 with the University of Illinois at Veteran Woods and ice removal. I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I believe I left out number three. Award of contract in the amount not to exceed $144,200 to Home and Tree Care Inc. of Lockport, Illinois for annual tree brush maintenance and ice removal.
Discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Sherry. Ad hoc committee, Margaret Tyson.
Good morning, everyone. I have nothing to report today. Thank you.
Okay. No executive session. All right, I'm looking for a motion to go in executive session for the review of closed meeting minutes 5 ILCS 120-2/2 C21. Roll call.
Newquist.
We are now out of executive session. We'll open the doors and invite people in. Public comments coming. All right. Looking for a motion to release certain closed session meeting minutes as stated and approved the destruction of audio recorded verbatim records of certain closed session meetings as stated of the Board of Commissioners and its subsidiary bodies. Motion second. Previous. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Are there anybody from the public wishing to speak? Public comment? See none. Comments by Executive Director? None. Comments by Commissioners? Julie?
Thank you, Joe. Since you didn't give me the opportunity to respond earlier, I'm going to take that opportunity right now to respond to Mimi's comments regarding myself. Another commissioner made the motion to increase the fees. It didn't come from me. I was simply making a suggestion to Ralph regarding the possible pricing of different areas of our fee schedule. I did not indicate that I supported raising those fees, so I just wanted to clarify that. Now I'm hungry for a Happy Meal, and I guess I'll have to suffer for the rest of the meeting. Thanks, Mimi.
Any other public comment? Or comments by Commissioners? Comments by Commissioners. Commissioner Trenier.
Thank you. I see that the board revised rules are on here, and I just wanted to confirm that they'll be voted on in December.
They will be voted on in November, and then again in December. So
Okay.
this board will vote on them, and then at the reorganization meeting.
That's what I wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. We have two appointments this morning with the approval of the board, recommendation to hire an IT network administrator. Motion? Discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And looking for motion to appoint the Nature Foundation of Will County Board of Directors appointment. Moved in second. Previous. Second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. There are no awards to present this morning, so looking for a motion to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.